Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Chooching on a Monday afternoon. A gorgeous day, unless you have grass allergies like I do, and then it's like, whoa, really? Anyway, today, thought I would do a little rant. It's not often I go on a rant, but as one of my new friends in the RV community, Jimmy Rants, does. Well, Rosie can rant too, and I thought I would do that today because I'm really kind of frosted. In the what I want to talk about today is irresponsible trans sisters. And you guys remember my God, a year ago almost, the strange case of Dumb and Dumber. Two, quote, girls, unquote, that without benefit of any counseling or any sort of doctor care at all, cowboyed their transition, meaning they just chose to do it themselves without any professional intervention. And the results have been nothing short of disastrous. Not because girls can't do that, because plenty of girls do. It's not really advisable. But because there are perfect case studies for what can go wrong when you combine being selfish with being transgender. And of course, Dumb was the one that, Dumber left family in Tennessee, a wife and 5 kids, stable life as a professional camera operator, professional cameraman for sports. We're not talking about any GoPro stuff. We're talking about, really high level, videoing for TV, hockey games, basketball games, baseball games. Really a nice job. But because she happened to listen to some uploads that, Dumber in Tennessee happened to see some uploads that Dumb in Florida had done. Well, Dumber ran down and offered to pick up Dumb and bring her to her place in Tennessee, her new apartment that she moved out of. Left her wife, left the 5 kids behind, shirked all the responsibilities of being a father, claims to be intersexed and blah blah blah, but not intersexed enough that you can't father 5 children and then leave them behind. And I really got frosted today. Of course, Dumb went on to California as a total nutcase with some feigned fucked up British accent and some bullshit, living out there in quote Hollywood and helping on Dancing with the Stars. Shit, can't even stand up these days, talking about the benefits of medicinal marijuana. It just shows you. Another case of a quote transgender girl that just upped and split from the family. Used to be a ordained Baptist minister. Just a total clusterfuck. Pardon my language. I'm just a little PO'd today. So I'm looking at Dumb, and of course Dumber and her split up because they were totally incompatible with each other. And Dumb thought they were going to go riding off into some sunset and be perfect lovers and happy. So, she made a fool of herself and declaring her love. Well, they split up. That shit happens. It's happened to me. So she went on, left Dumber with all the bills. The cable box wasn't returned to the cable company. Just a friggin' mess. So Dumber had to ride all the way down from Minneapolis to Nashville, Tennessee, fix everything up, get the deposit back. Had to make like a 36-hour whirlwind ride down there. Almost fell asleep at the wheel. Gets down there, gets the cable box turned back in, gets the apartment straightened out, cleaned up, gets the deposit back. Well, Dumb moves on to California, and her life is nothing short of a friggin' disaster. So I happened to check in on Dumber's channel today. I'm not going to give these goofballs any publicity and a lot of the trans sisters will know exactly who they are, the case in Dumb and Dumber. But I just feel like ranting today because I checked back in on Dummer's channel today, and you might say what you might about, you know, Rosie O'Kelly's a train wreck and all that, but Rosie O'Kelly raised her fucking girls and gave them a great start in life, even though I knew 20 years ago that I had transgender issues. When I walked down the aisle and I got married and I fathered my kids, you know, I made a commitment, and there's many a days I felt brain dead and just ragged out because I knew I was transgender in my heart, and I tried to avoid it, but I knew I had the overriding issue of doing the right thing. And doing the right thing is taking responsibility for the children that I fathered, being a stand-up person, not a friggin' moocher, not a person that just chuck it all and run away and let the family fend for themselves, because they could have had a mighty big fall at that point if I had ducked out of the picture. But you know, you got to live with yourself in the long term, and you know, karma has a way of taking care of itself. And you know, when Dummer fled and then fled Nashville, Tennessee to try to start a new life and meet somebody in New Mexico and stuff, and then long driving one night, drives right off the side of the friggin' road down a ravine, just smashed up to pieces. I mean, thank God she survived it, but the lesson was never learned on that, because now it's a case of somebody that had, you know, a great paycheck, good family that depended on them, and because of this crying need to be selfish and for this self-realization of who I am and I've got to be me and fuck everybody else, just hits the road. Now has totally lost the ability to make a living, will never operate a camera again, and is basically on welfare and disability and the public dole, medical, all the things. Somebody gave him a, you know, a place to live, an RV and stuff, and that's good. I mean, people are kind-hearted. Even the most screwed up situations can still see people being generous. And at one time, I sent Dum some money down in Florida when she was out of hormones and didn't have a dime to her name. You know, because I'm a stand-up person, and a lot of times in life and on YouTube and things, people I know and meet, I send them something when the need is such that I judge, hey, this could be something that sees somebody at the end of a rope or something like that. Because unless you're transgendered and you sit out there and have no ideas and you laugh about the Bruce Jenners in the world, but the reality is, when it happens to you, it's no laughing matter. But anyway, seeing this life just totally collapse and knowing that there's a family of 5 and young kids too, we're talking about age, I don't know, 1.5 to maybe 9 years old, and to flee the scene on that and basically say, well, I tried to work it out with my ex. Bullshit. A stand-up person would have stayed there and made a life in that town and taken care of those kids and continued on with their career. And now, because of their greed, his greed and selfishness, no counseling, no direction in life at all, is out there now basically a ward of the state now and living with a female to male boyfriend, which is fine. He seems like a stand-up guy. I don't have any problem with him. But my God, when you think about how cocked up their life is and the struggles ahead for him, and well, I call him because he never really had counseling for the children that are left there to suffer the consequences of all that. I get shivers when I think of that, and it's people like that that really give trans a really terrible name. It can't be stand-up people and do the right thing. So who suffers? Not them. I mean, she's living the life out there in New Mexico, living in the trailer, Hi, and the damnedest thing today is I click on that channel today, and there they are, those two, Dumber and her boyfriend, giving advice on children and transgender stuff, and I just felt like I wanted to absolutely vomit when I saw that video. If you want to live the life like these fools behind me over here, and just living life on the lam, and not a care or responsibility in the world, then don't father children. It's plain and simple. But if you do, be a stand-up person and take care of those kids. Now you've dished out more tragedy in your life to more people, and yet you sleep at night with a clear conscience, knowing that I've never been happier as a transgender girl. Do you think that your kids can say the same? Do you really think that your kids can say the same thing in life? Come here. Come on. Come on, Mandy. Do you really think that your kids can say the same thing in life? I doubt it. Come on, man. I doubt it. So, yeah, it's got me a little hacked off today when somebody claims to be an activist and a voice for the trans community. I know Rosie O'Kelly's a train wreck, right? But shit, Rosie O'Kelly's got money in the bank, no friggin' mortgage, a great retirement ahead, a partner who cares and loves me and is financially set herself because she wasn't selfish, 2 kids that absolutely love me, an ex that thinks the world of me for doing the right thing at this point in time in life. Now, who goes to bed happier and more satisfied and feeling like, this is the proper way to do stuff? So although you can say, flouncing around in bikinis and doing this and all that, well, I've friggin' earned the right to do that with a good spirit, a good conscience, and a good soul. And I help out a ton of people in life, and a lot of times I have a lot of regret for that. And I hear people talking about the e-mooching online and stuff, and yeah, I've fallen into that same situation of helping people out too, and then having it blow up in my face. The reality is, you have kids, your responsibility is to take care of them. You have 5 kids, and then have the gall to get on there and talk about that you're intersex, and the gall to come on there and be on a podcast and tell people how they should behave and how to raise trans children and all that stuff. You have lost your freaking mind. Okay, you are no more stable and grounded as a trans girl than fly around the moon, and it shows. Your life is a wreck, your family's a wreck, and I tell you at night, I pray for them. I pray for those kids out there in Tennessee, knowing what a struggle it is now, because Dad couldn't hang around and do the right thing and do his dressing and do the things enough, just keep his mind on track, so that those kids could get a decent start in life. Well, you know what? That's bullshit. It's not often I rant, maybe 3 times a year, but this is one of them. Take responsibility in life. Don't blame others. Don't reach out and depend on others when you should be looking at yourself to do the right thing. Okay? Thanks so much for listening, everybody, and have a wonderful afternoon.